Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Hypergamous Journey. My name is Denise. At this channel, we discuss dating advice for mature women, mature in age and in mindset. So, a little housekeeping. I have Affirmation Journals on Amazon under the Hypergamous Journey, and I'll get right into it. So, I promised you a video about one of the men that I talked with from seniormatch.com, seniormatch.com, seniormatch.com. And he is 55 years old, didn't submit the best picture, a lot of facial hair that didn't appear to be very groomed, but sometimes men, they just take a picture and upload it and onto the websites. And a lot of times their children have to help them with the upload and all of that. So they just do it. And sometimes their children convince them to do it. And it's not something that they really want to do. So anyway, it was one of those pictures. Okay, so this gentleman is 55 years old, and he did reach out to me, gave me a wink on the website or the dating app, and I gave him my number, and he did call me. So the conversation was a little awkward because I don't talk much. I listen more than I talk, and he asked, I can't pronounce that word, but he asked the very basic questions, how long I had been on the app. And by this time it had been a week. Now I'm going into my second week. It had been a week. And I told you that 5 or 6 men contacted me. He was one of those 5 to 6 men and the only one to actually call. And he lives here in the Atlanta metropolitan area. So maybe that's a reason, but it doesn't even matter why he called me, but he did. And so, as you know, I use these encounters as practice, because if you practice on men that you know are not a good fit, when you meet the men who are a better fit, you have practiced on talking less, not revealing very much about yourself. I always say, if this is story time, I always say, if you are talking more than 3 seconds, you're talking too much. So 3 seconds is like this: 1, 2, 3. Some people say 5 seconds, some people say 10. I say 3 because it's enough. I'm a pretty direct communicator, so I can say in 3 seconds, oh, I'm from New York City. I have two siblings, 2 sisters and a brother. I love to dance. And it's 3 seconds. That's it. What about you? That's 3 seconds. That prevents you from revealing too much of yourself, leading with your job. Oh yes, I work as a software engineer with Google and I work in Midtown. That's none of his business, what you do for a living. If you want, I wouldn't even say I work in IT, because people, men and women, everybody sees dollar signs, at least 6 figures. So I wouldn't even say I work in IT. I would make some low-paying job at field. I would mention some low-paying field, like I work in education. So when I say I work in education, and I did, people automatically assumed that I was a professor. And so I would say I'm not a professor, just staff. That's what I would say. And it's the truth. I worked in education and I was staff. So everybody knows that you don't get paid much as staff in education. Whether you're elementary school teacher, middle school teacher, high school teacher, you don't get paid much. So that's what I would say. So with this gentleman, I think he asked me, what did I do? And I said that I worked as a volunteer. But he told me he worked with Home Depot. So I didn't say in what department or anything like that, because I knew that eventually I could put, as my mother would say, put two and two together, and I could determine that he didn't work in the corporate office of Home Depot, and he didn't. So one day when we had played phone tag for a day or two. So one day he returned my call. He was at work and he had to put me on hold. So he said that he had to take care of a customer and that he had to check the rental tools that this customer was getting out of the store. And he had to walk it over to the person's car. So I knew that he was in the warehouse and being more hands-on with customers, direct customer contact, than in a corporate office managing business accounts or anything of that nature. So that didn't really deter me, but I also know they don't make a lot of money, that he might not own a home. He may have a car, he might live in an apartment, but I'm willing to be open-minded and give a person a chance rather than automatically dismissing them based on immediate information. Now, some people would say, well, I would have dismissed him right away. He's a person. Everybody is more than their job. And so I don't want to be dismissed because I worked as staff at a HBCU here in the Atlanta area. And I'm more than my job. And we are women. We are more than our careers. We are more than our role as mother. Happy Mother's Day. We're more than that. So I extend the same grace and courtesy to men. So what was the biggest red flag? It was like a little orange flag that he worked at Home Depot. And I wondered, I was waiting for him to say, well, I work at Home Depot. And I said, how long have you been there? He said, a year. I didn't ask what he did before, but what I was really listening for was for him to say, my full-time job is this, and Home Depot is my part-time job. But he didn't say that. He made it seem like Home Depot was the job. So, okay. The other thing was, that was an orange flag. So the red flag was, he said, so, when can he texted me. So we did a couple of texts and then before the phone call. And so he texted me one time to say that he was getting off soon and did I have time to meet him so he could give me a hug. I was like, a hug? I haven't even talked to you yet. And now you're talking about a hug. But anyway, so that was a red flag. Then when we finally talked with each other, he said he wanted to see me and that he was off on Tuesday and it would be nice to get together. So I said, okay, but he changed the subject. He didn't say a time. He didn't say a place. He just changed the subject to something else. So that was a big red flag. But I let it go because I'm going to see where it's going and to practice. So what is the point of this practice? Communication, to not be bothered, to let, my mother would say, it's Mother's Day. So my mother would say, let nature take its course, to just see what he is about and what he's up to, even though I pretty much know that he's not about anything and that we are basically incompatible. But I wanted to practice. So then Tuesday didn't arrive yet. So that was, I don't know what day that was, but it was before Tuesday. So I said, okay, we talked some more, a little bit more, and then we got off the phone. So a few days later, he called again, to just check in. And so we talked. And he said, so when are we going to see each other? You know, it would be good to see each other and all of that. And I said, well, whenever you're available, I volunteer. My time is pretty flexible. So he said, okay. We got off the phone. Still, no date, no time, and no place to meet. And needless to say, I haven't heard from him since. And I knew it wasn't going to go anywhere because he was not following up with the important questions of a man who's interested in getting to meet me and know me. Where, when, how, those journal questions. Where, when, time, place, none of that. He didn't follow up with any of those questions. So I knew that he was looking for me to chase him, call him, set up the date, and all of that. So yeah, that's my story with my one communication and actual speaking with the seniormatch.com prospect. The other men have been basically MIA, missing in action. No effort on their part. My subscription expires May 18th, so I'm going to give it up until Monday or Tuesday to cancel it. And yeah, that's it. So stay the course, ladies. That's all I can say. Stay the course. If you need help dating again, getting started dating again, send me an email at thehypergamistjourney@gmail.com. And I will talk to you in the next video. Bye.